Okay, so everybody, welcome to Team Easy Europe and UK training. It is Sunday, May 5th. It's a big holiday here in the United States as well. Not a bank holiday, but it's Cinco de Mayo. There are probably people out right now just having a lot of margaritas and a lot of tacos and excessive amounts of tequila. That's probably happening right now. I have no interest in that whatsoever today. None. Okay, so, and burritos, right? Okay, so, all right, we are, I think, a little bit more than a month away from the Crystal Director deadline, the reset deadline. And that means we're 2 months away because I think Michelle just sent me these. Thank you for Michelle. The deadline for Crystal Director is the 2nd of June. The deadline for Executive is the 7th of July. Okay, so really quickly, type in the chat box for me. How many, 4 weeks to data director, how many consultants do you get to create? How many consultants are needed in the comp plan to go director in general? How many are needed in general? 6, that's right. And how many, total 6, right? So some of you are saying your individual numbers, that's how many are required for you to hit the director deadline or hit director and things like that. And what about going executive? How many consultants are required to go executive? 10, right? 10 for executive. Okay. So my big question is this, and I'm kind of making this up as I go. Why wouldn't you go director? Why wouldn't you go director? What's the reason that you might not go director? Let's just be very, very honest. Some of you said, I'm doing it, I want to go director. Okay. Why might you not though? Why might it not happen? Some of you didn't go manager, right? And going manager is 2 consultants, and now we're saying, hey, this is 6 and then 10, right? If you didn't go manager, it begs the question, why might you not go director? So let's do that. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to kind of do like a group coaching call where I'm going to take whatever you put in for as many as I can do over the next 25 minutes. You tell me what you think the reason is that you might not go director, and we're just going to do some laser-focused coaching that I believe might serve the rest of the group. How does that sound? Okay? So you tell me what might be the reason you don't go director, and let's just do some laser coaching. Okay. All right. Okay, because if you whisper, I can hear it, and that's distracting. So don't whisper. All right. All right, so I'm just going to crack these one by one, okay? I'm going to do one by one. Why might you not go director? So the first one is not being consistent. How many of you, just so she knows she's not alone, also struggle with consistency, the day in and the day out activity that's required to be successful? Just type in the chat box if you also struggle at times with consistency, okay? So that's the very first one. So very quickly, let's overcome a lack of consistency. So what I believe to be true is that a lack of consistency is really a function of a lack of care. A lack of consistency is a function of a lack of caring. If you really cared about the things that you say you want as much as you say that you want them, consistency becomes a simple output. Doing things day in and day out that align with the things that we care about becomes simple. How many of you consistently brush your teeth? How many of you consistently brush your teeth, right? Whether it be once a day in the morning or once in the morning or once at night, how many of you have no problem consistently brushing your teeth? Just type in the chat box. How many of you have consistently no problem just brushing your teeth? And I hope the answer is yes for everybody. I mean, personal hygiene is a personal choice, but it'd be great if you said yes to this. Okay, so why? Why is it so simple to consistently brush our teeth? Why is it so simple? Right? We do it every single day. Why? Why is it so easy just to brush our teeth? It's easy to brush our teeth because we care about having good teeth. We don't want to get cavities. We don't want to have bad breath. We don't want to get gingivitis. We don't want to get gum disease. We care about maintaining good health in our mouths, so we make a simple, consistent decision every single day. Every single day. Why? Again, because we care about our health. What about when it's cold outside, and this is easy for you guys to relate to because it's cold there often. When it's cold outside, really maybe snowing, raining, really downpouring, really, really freezing, we consistently bring a coat with us, right? We consistently bring our coat. Why? Because we care about staying warm. So you've got to ask yourself the question of when you find yourself being inconsistent or not focused on the activities that you probably should be focused on, you got to ask yourself the question of, what are my priorities? What do I really care about? What do I really care about? In this moment, what do I value most? And life becomes very simple when we can take a step back and evaluate and go, okay, what do I value most? What's my priority in life? What do I care the most about? And when I'm very clear on what I care about, it's easy to be consistent. Because one of the quotes I love when it comes to discipline, I learned from Mandy Eskelin, who's on our team, obviously. And Mandy says that discipline is the difference between what I want now versus what I want most. And so just get checked in. Maybe the reasons why you thought you were doing this aren't the reasons that you want to do this. Maybe there's another level to your vision. Maybe there's a different answer. Maybe there's a dream that you have that you're scared to acknowledge and admit. Maybe it feels too far away. Maybe it doesn't feel like it's big enough. Whatever it is, get really clear on why you care enough to take actions daily. And I promise you, just like brushing your teeth, consistency will never be an issue. We're always consistent when we care. Okay. Next one, a lack of belief. Okay. So lack of belief in yourself, lack of belief in the company, lack of belief in products, like lack of belief in what? And I'm guessing just because Michelle wrote it, lack of belief in self, not that you have that, but at times we all do, right? I'm guessing, Michelle, that's what you meant. Okay. So let's go with, let's see what she say. Lack in all areas, lack of belief in all areas. Okay, great. So that's a good one. Right? Lack of belief. And belief is the foundational bedrock upon which success is built. Belief is the bedrock. Belief is the foundation of the home. You can't build anything without belief, hands down. So the big question is, and now I lost my place. There it is. The big question is, okay, who controls your belief? Who controls your belief? One person and one person only controls your belief, and that's you. Now, the fascinating thing about your belief is that your belief, even though you're in control of it, your belief has been influenced since the time you were a little girl or a little boy by everyone around you who imparted their beliefs, and you accepted their beliefs as your own beliefs. So most of what you don't believe in, believe it or not, aren't your rules. They're somebody else's rules that you've adhered to, that you've decided to make okay in your life. But as a consenting adult, as an aware, conscious adult, if I'm aware that I've been programmed one way, I then know that I can be programmed and reprogrammed a new way. So the big question then becomes, okay, what influences my programming? Well, it's what I watch, it's what I read, it's what I allow enter my mind, it's the words that I speak, and probably most importantly, it's the people I surround myself with. So you get to ask yourself the question of, who am I surrounding myself with? What am I allowing to be spoken into my life? What books am I reading or not reading? By the way, this is only a half of my books. This is nothing, okay? What are you putting into your mind on a day-to-day basis? When it comes to the products, are you using the products every single day consistently? Are you listening to an Isagenix podcast here and there to really understand what's available? When it comes to believing in network marketing, like, are you doing the research? Are you reading the books? Are you studying the possibilities? Or are you just kind of accepting your lot in life? Belief is up to you. Your belief is entirely up to you. So if you don't believe, then go to work on your belief. It's very simple. If you don't believe, then go to work on your belief. And action, I promise you, will build your belief. Because ever watch a little kid learning how to ride a bike? When they first get on a bike, they get on training wheels. Easy, no big deal, I got this. But then it's time for them to ride without wheels. And mom or dad, they hold on to the bike right now, except for the Dutch babies. The Dutch babies come out and they're already on a bike, right? But Dutch babies get delivered. Dutch babies, I believe, they come out on a bike. They're just like, hey, I'm here, right? Like, so the Dutch, this doesn't apply. Dutch know how to ride a bike, no big deal. okay? But when it comes to riding a bike, mom or dad sit behind the seat and they hold on, and we're riding and we're rolling and we're not sure if we're gonna do it. And sometimes we fall over and we get back on and we're totally unbalanced. But as we keep moving forward, what starts to happen? What starts to happen is we start to believe. What happens is we start to believe. And all of a sudden, we're perfectly balanced and riding a bike becomes very, very simple. But now going back to consistency, all these, by the way, all the answers are gonna be related, right? Now going back to consistency. If I fall off the bike and don't get back on the bike until say a month later, what's my belief level gonna be like when I get back on a month later? Not very high. What's it gonna be like if I get back on even 3 weeks later? Not very high. 2 weeks later, a little higher. A week later, a little better. 5 hours after the first accident happens, better. But when am I most likely going to acquire a real sense of belief in my ability to ride the bike? It's when I get right back on. It's when I get right back on. And some of you are having your belief affected because one person tells you no, or 3 people tell you no, or maybe even 30 people tell you no, and you decide, I don't believe, I'm not good at this, I'm not cut out for this isn't for me, I'm just gonna stop. And then a promotion comes out, or you come to an event, or you get on call, and you go, no, this is the week. And then 3 people say no, and you go, no, I got knocked over again. But the difference between the people that have the things that you want and the people that are gonna hit the reset and the people that smash these types of things are the people who day in and day out, no matter what, go to work on cultivating their skill set so that their belief rises. Skills lead to, and we talked about this, right? Competence leads to confidence. I did a call on this. Competence leads to confidence. And that's where belief comes from. Okay, sharing the opportunity. Lack of effort and consistency, we covered that. Okay, excuses. Excuses are my favorite. Like, I just give me a great excuse. I'll wait. Now, there are reasons, there are distractions, there's life happening. I'm not going to say that there aren't things that happen in life that absolutely kind of perpetuate challenges. But, I don't know, I always watch these little motivational videos of guys with no legs that wear prosthetics and run marathons, or people like Nick Vujicic, who born with no arms, no legs, and travels all over the world as an inspirational speaker. I don't know, what's a really good excuse to not just take action every day in your life? You live in a first world country, you have access to technology, you have a roof over your head, you have tons of food, you're able to eat, what's a really good excuse for not taking action every day? I didn't think so. Okay, what's another one? Roger says dragging people, right? So dragging people might be the reason that I don't hit director, I don't hit executive, right? Okay, so you gotta ask yourself the question when it comes to dragging people. One big question you gotta ask yourself is, what's the benefit that you get for dragging people? Now you're gonna immediately say, I get no benefit from dragging people. But the truth is, you get some kind of benefit, otherwise you wouldn't do it. Maybe you wanna be the hero. Maybe you think that their results are your responsibility. Maybe you think that, if I don't help them to become successful, then it says something bad about me. Maybe you're giving too much meaning to other people's results as a way of ignoring the things that you could be focused on. Remember I said I was gonna do some tough focus, laser focused coaching tonight? Just go like this, if this is okay so far, okay? And go like this if I'm hitting somebody in the heart. And I don't mind, because that's my job, because I love you enough to be honest with you. So you gotta start to ask yourself the question, what's the payoff? What's the real benefit you're getting from dragging people? And then you get to ask yourself the question of am I dragging as a form of sabotage? Am I dragging people because I know that by holding on to these people, it prevents me from going out and doing something that maybe I'm a little bit nervous to do, which is finding new people to connect with? Maybe. I don't know. That's a question you got to answer for yourself. Okay, what else? Let's see. Sigurd said it's not that easy. Find the right people. I love that one. It's not that easy. You are right. You're right. It's not that easy. Just kidding. I disagree. It's not that easy if you say it's not that easy. It's hard to find the right people if you say it's hard to find the right people. So it begs the question of, what's the story you're telling yourself about your business? What's the story you're telling yourself when it comes to going director or going executive? What's the story that you're telling yourself? Is the story that it's hard, people think it's expensive, no one's interested in the opportunity, no one's as motivated as I am? Is that the story you're telling yourself? Or do you wake up every day and affirm that today I allow myself to attract people who are open. Today I allow myself to attract people who are motivated. Today I allow myself to attract self-started individuals. I am constantly attracting amazing people into my life. Everybody I know wants to be in business with me and wants to be my friend. Everybody I know is excited about this opportunity. Everybody I talk to can't wait to put these products in their body. I create consultants with ease. I present the opportunity with ease and with flow. What's the story that you're telling yourself about your business? What's the story you're telling yourself about your business? I would check in on that. Okay. Too many people saying they can't afford it right now, so that's what we just talked about, right? So again, what are you focused on? What are you focused on? When you say too many people, right? Too many people, is that like 5? Because there's like, and Lizzie, I think you're in the UK, so 5 out of 53 million is too many? And again, we just have to be willing to look at the overall expansive possibilities of this and look at the numbers and the reality of it. Of even if I get 1,000 no's, even if I get 1,000 people saying I can't afford it right now, let's do 52 million, 9, however many hundred people. That's a lot of people. Just in the UK. Forget all the other countries that we're open in. So when we say I can't afford it right now, then it comes back to what we're allowing to be spoken into our minds and what we accept as our truth. So if you keep saying I can't afford it right now, or you keep saying people that can't afford it right now, you're right, you're going to continue to find those people. It's very simple. Law of attraction, very simple. Let's say you're ready to find a new car. You decided on a new car and you picked out your new car and you're really excited about the new car and you say, that's the new car I want to get. I'm just going to make it up. It's a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, right? A bug. You just want a yellow little bug, or maybe you want Esther's Mini Cooper, right? You want a little cute little Mini Cooper convertible. Guess what you're going to see on the road? Every single place that you go, you're going to see Mini Coopers everywhere, as though an alien army of Mini Coopers have taken over the world. You're going to go, this is crazy. I'd only seen a couple before. But now, all of a sudden, Mini Coopers are everywhere. Well, it's the same thing with the people that you say that they say can't afford it versus the people that can. What you focus on, you find. What you focus on grows. What you focus on, you find. What you focus on grows. Okay. Ed says not focusing on income-producing activities. Great point. So what might keep you from hitting director or executive is not focusing on income-producing activities. So that's a great point. A lot of people think, posting on social media, income-producing activity. No. Doing an Instagram story, income-producing activity. I did a story. No, it's not. Those can lead to income, potentially, because it's marketing. Listening to a podcast, income-producing activity. I'm on the team call tonight. That's an income-producing activity. No. So you've got to ask yourself the question of, where am I spending my time? With the time that I do have, if it's a half hour a day, an hour a day, 4 hours a day, what are you really doing with your time? And if you're ever really curious as to what you should be doing with your time, go in the group, go in the Europe group, search for Eden, and Eden posted a video a couple months ago on what you should be doing with your time at all times. Okay? Let's see. Consistency. Objections. Okay. So objections, just to be clear, are simply requests for more information. An objection is just a request for more information. And so what somebody is objecting to is that they just don't know enough. And what is it that they don't know enough about? You might think, oh, they don't know enough about the products, or they don't know enough about the business opportunity. But guess what? That's never really what it is that they want to know enough about. What they really want to know enough about is, how can this solve my problem? How can this solve my problem? My deep core desired problem. Not the I need to make money problem, but the I'm scared I'm going to lose my home problem. Not the I want to lose a couple of kilos, before summer comes so I can look hot in my bikini problem. No, it's the I've had body shaming, self-body shaming and body dysmorphia challenges for years. How will this solve my problem? So if you're getting objections, just recognize what that is that is an alarm bell. That is a signal of someone asking you to ask more questions to identify where they're really struggling, what their pain point is, so that you can really provide a solution. Objections, by the way, are great. We want objections. We want objections because then we can truly serve people. Okay. Let's see if there's any others. Lack of a clear goal. Okay, so I might not get to director or I might not hit executive because of a lack of a clear goal. Well, in this case, it's pretty simple. If I have 3 consultants already and there's a total of 6 required, my goal is 3 new consultants by the 2nd of June. Simple goals, tangible outcomes. Simple goals, tangible outcomes. Okay. Scared of success. That's a big one. So I might not really go for it because I'm scared of being successful. If that's you, there's a book I want you to read called The Big Leap. I want you to read a book called The Big Leap. If you're scared of success, which is a very normal thing, there's a book called The Big Leap. And a quote unquote fear of success is oftentimes a function of sabotage because we have concerns about what might it mean? What might it mean to the people I'm closest to if I break free from how I was conditioned to live, from how I was supposed to believe, from the way I was supposed to make a living? What might it mean for me when it comes to my initial tribe that I was born into? What might it mean if I start to take a new path? How might they look at me? Will they still love me? Will I still be accepted if I decide to, quote unquote, leave the herd? Typically speaking, when we fear success, that is the biggest underlying current of that. It's an energy of, I won't be accepted by the people who love me if I go and do something different from what they do. Who might judge me? But ultimately, you're just judging yourself. Ultimately, you're just judging yourself. Okay. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Too many things going on at the same time. Okay. So too many things going on at the same time, right? Guys, pick your priority. Pick your priority. It's just reality. Like, I think that there are absolutely, there's something to be said about doing a lot of things at one time and having a bunch of things on your plate. But in my experience as an entrepreneur, it's really best to get really, really laser focused on having a really solid stream of income coming into your house and getting great at your skills and really building a foundation. Your priorities are your priorities and there's no right or wrong, right? So if Isagenix is your priority, then let it be your priority. If you have other priorities in your life that you're saying, hey, these are the things that are more important to me, that's fine. However, here's the thing, you can't have both. So you can't say this other thing is my priority, but I want these bigger results in my Isagenix business, even though I'm not making it a priority. It can't be both. It just gets to be one or the other. So if building the business isn't your priority right now, that's okay. You're doing it on a sometime basis. And if you're going to build on a sometime basis, you got to be okay with sometime results. If you're building as a hobby, be okay with making hobby level money. But if you build it as a business, you'll build business money. It's very simple, right? And again, no priority is more important than the other priority. Like, your priorities are your priorities, and I honor those things. And there are seasons to life. But we cannot say, hey, I want this one thing, but I'm prioritizing this other thing and then expect this one thing to just magically happen. Because you guys know us. We're not pie in the sky. We're not get rich overnight. That's just not who we are. That's not what we're about. We're about putting in the work, right? We're about putting in the internal work and the external work. We're about building the business and really doing what it takes over a consistent, sustained period of time, because that's just the reality of success. That's just reality. And anyone that tells you anything different is lying. And it can be fun, and it can be joyful, and it can be fulfilling, and it will, but at the same time, it's going to take work. It just is. You got to put in the time, right? And here's what I'll say. The more time you put in up front, the less time you have to put on later on. But again, just to clarify, because everyone has distractions and everyone has other things going on in their lives, it's very simple. We get what we prioritize. We do. We get results based on the priorities of our life. And there's no right or wrong. I really want to keep saying that. I don't have an expectation that you surrender and give up your entire life to go build your Ice business if that's not what you want to do right now. That's totally okay. It's totally okay. But we've got to be real with ourselves. And when we're real with ourselves, we can have more compassion and more grace for ourselves in the process. So we can just look at it and be like, hey, honestly, when I look in the mirror, I'm giving 90% of my attention to these other things over here, but I'm expecting 100% result over here. It doesn't add up. It's not fair to us. It's just not. It's not. You're not being fair to yourself. Okay. Okay. The family are still not supportive and make their opinions known whenever we talk. Okay. So you get to have a very upfront conversation with your family and say, hey, look, I love you. I appreciate that what I'm doing isn't for you, and that's okay. What I would really love is from now on, let's just not talk about it. It doesn't feel good for me. It doesn't feel good for you. So from now on, let's not talk about it. We can talk about the weather. We can talk about sports. We can talk about the kids. We can talk about anything you want. I just refuse to engage in a conversation about Isagenix with you unless you'd like to book an appointment with me, in which case I can see what I have available on my calendar. And I can see where I'll see where I can fit you in. That's the only way I do it. And that's posture. And guess what? When you take that kind of posture, your family will take a step back and go, oh, wow, they're really serious about this. So I'm going to go for a little bit longer just because there's a couple more that I want to handle, if that's okay with you guys. If you get to hop off because you have stuff going on, it's getting late, I understand. You can catch the end of the recording if you feel like it. Okay. Okay, we got that. Okay, I think we got that. Unsupportive husband. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know, unsupportive spouses, unsupportive partners, really challenging. The best thing you can do is work your bum off to demonstrate what's possible, but it's a similar conversation. It's, hey, I love you, and this is something that I value, and it's something that's important to me, and I would just really appreciate it if you could do your best to support me. And that means no critical comments, no sarcastic remarks. I really just appreciate your support to the best degree you know how possible. And after that, it's self-evaluatory. Okay. Lizzie says, what do you mean dragging? So dragging means constantly just in conversation with people on your team that say they're going to do something but never do. They're never getting on calls. They don't go to events. And you're constantly just focused on the same people all the time who are clearly saying, hey, the time's not right for me right now. And it's like we're trying to beat a dead horse. Okay, let's see. Okay, great. Got that. Okay. I think we covered all of them. Is there anything I didn't cover that you guys would like me to cover? We just did a lot in a very short period of time when it came to kind of blowing up what you think might be the reason that you don't hit the reset. I'm just going to go to gallery view so I can see you all here. Just go like this if you feel like you had your question answered and if there was value in this call for you so far tonight. Just go like this. And if I missed it, then what? Then what? Okay. So Janae says your daughter needs your support. That's your personal business. I can't speak to that. But what I would say is this. I would say that your daughter might benefit as much from your constant kind of overseeing of everything. She might benefit from that just as much as she benefits from you demonstrating what it looks like to go out and handle your own stuff and to take massive action and set a precedent and to be an example of what a strong, independent, powerful woman looks like, which is obviously something that I know that you are today. So there might be an opportunity for you. So maybe the way that you think it's supposed to look in order to influence her isn't the only way for it to look in order to influence her. Just something to consider. Let's see. Okay. Why should you go to ICU in June? Events are everything. You guys heard about it coming out of Celebration. If you had let's keep it simple with events. If you had a training for your job on June 22nd and they said, hey, if you want to advance in this company, if you ever want a promotion, if you want a good year-end review, if you want a little bit of a raise at the end of the year, if you want to increase your skills and be of value to our company, on 22nd of June, there's an event in London. It's mandatory. If you don't go to the event, we're probably not going to keep you on. This is the same. This is the same. If you want to increase your skills, if you want to build your belief, if you want to learn how to overcome sabotage, if you want all the things that you say you want, if you care as deeply as you say you care, then the event becomes a non-negotiable within reason. The event becomes non-negotiable. And you're going to be learning from Susan Sly. And oh my gosh, if ever there was a woman who makes excuses look like tiny little specks of dust that she just clicks away, it's Susan Sly. You want to get in a room with a woman who's going to look you in the eye and show you why all of your excuses and all of your distractions and all of your quote-unquote priorities are just meh? Go see Susan Sly for one day. Give that woman one day of your time. Because how she started in this business and the things she's overcome in her life, I look at Susan Sly oftentimes and I go, man, my story is just comical compared to the dramas that she's overcome to get to where she is. Comical. And that's why events are so important. So that you can see that there are people just like you who've overcome as much, if not more than you are seeking to overcome in your own life, so you can be inspired by them and empowered by them. To look at them and say, if she can, I can. That's why you got to get to the event. Okay. It's 12:35. I hope there was value in this. I kind of did it off the seat of my pants. I know some of what I said was tough. I get it. But you know what? Here's the reality. The reality is, for the most part, we're born into a world where we're enabled by the people around us. We're born into a world where the people that we surround ourselves with, they tell us it's okay to play small. They tell us it's okay not to take risks. They tell us don't be too loud. Don't say too much. Don't rock the boat. That's what most people tell you. And that's why your belief gets affected. That's why you're not as consistent. That's why you sabotage, because you accept all of their stories as your own story. And then guess what happens? The same way you go to look for evidence of not enough people being able to afford it, you go to look for evidence that you can't do it. You go to look for evidence that you're not good enough. You go to look for evidence that you're not worthy. And you start to see life through this lens that says, oh, see, I knew I wasn't as good as she is. I knew I couldn't enroll. I knew they wouldn't like it. I knew my family wouldn't respect it. And you start to see Mini Coopers of negativity everywhere. 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 And that's why when you come on these calls on Sunday nights with me, I refuse to be that person in your life. I'm not going to accept your bullshit stories. I don't buy your excuses. I don't care about your distractions. I don't care what you say your family's saying, because guess what? Guess what? There's more evidence to suggest that you can do this than evidence to suggest that you can't do this. So I'm going to take it back to the beginning. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you reading? What are you allowing into your mind, and what are you allowing out of your mouth? What are you affirming every day, either positively or negatively? What are you speaking into your future existence, consciously and unconsciously? And how hard are you willing to work to go from who you think you're supposed to be to becoming who you truly are? Have a great evening.